Let's go to line number 4 and say hello to Rod. Hello, Rod, you're on the air.
Hi, Patty. How are you today?
Top shelf, my friend. How about you?
Great, great. Not a bad day here in Cornwall, and I'm assuming this is good out there.
Here is all right.
She hasn't told me yet.
What's on your mind today?
Anyways, Patty, look, I called a couple of weeks ago, and I was talking about the mining in our watershed. And, this is a topic that needs to be addressed. The people of this area have to understand that we're getting ready to spend $40 or $50 million to build a water treatment plant right next door where we're going to allow a mining company to go in and mine our watershed area. I mean, it's ludicrous. Like, does anybody care? Does anybody get the irony in all this? I'm appalled that we haven't heard more about it. I'm more appalled that our council is even considering this. Only 2 of them have come out and said, look, I'm not interested in this. Gary Kelly and Linda Chason. The rest have said, I don't want to base my decision on emotions. I want to base it on fact. Well, what that tells me, the fact is they're going to go ahead and approve this.
I assume you're right there, man. I got my cord all tangled up. I assume you're probably right. There looks like there's been a lot of money spent and thought given to going ahead. And we haven't had the due conversation about the regulations and the green lights and the approvals that have to be offered. So, looks like she's a go.
I mean, it is. And, for council to pull this bluff that we're waiting for more information, the company as big as Pennycon teamed up with this geologist crowd, Thomas Resources, is coming in here just on spec that they might be able to do something. I mean, that's not the way it's going to happen. From what I understand, Pennycon is coming in here. They're going to develop this, and they're going to get a chance. They're going to sell it. They're going to sell whatever's there. And, and they're a construction company. That's what they do. They're in it to make money. So, I'm not blaming that crowd for coming in here to want to make money. However, what are the long-term effects and what are the risks associated with this? They held an information session here one day last week, and unfortunately I couldn't attend. But from speaking with the people some of the people that went there and reading what was in the paper, it was very poorly organized and presented. Basically, what they did was stood up and you had to ask them questions. They didn't give any information.
Right. And there's a big difference there, because some people, when we are really unsure of the pros and cons and exactly what we're talking about, relying on those people to offer the questions to get all the pertinent facts is completely backwards, man. We got to offer the facts and then allow people to digest it and then regurgitate some of it, ask some questions so they can get some clarification. The other way around just doesn't make any sense to me.
It absolutely makes no sense. I'm just not quite sure what the motive is here. This reared its ugly head 10 years ago. It was made very clear then that we didn't want it there. And what the city council said, well, it's not our decision. It's really up to government. Well, then the city council should say, you know what, we're not having anything to do with this. We don't want this here. And we'll let government decide based on what we tell them, and we don't want it here. The truth is, this is a fait accompli. This is going to happen. We got 5 people giving you the line down there that, I want to base it on facts, not emotions. So guess what's about to happen? This is about to go ahead. And the risks that are involved in that are tremendous. Look, you or I are not allowed to ride a snowmobile over the watershed area. We're not allowed to drop a fish hook in there. We are not allowed to go in there and hike in that area. We're not allowed in there in vehicles. We are not allowed in the watershed area. All right, so having said that, if I'm not allowed to go in there fishing with the young fella, why am I going to allow a construction company to build a mine in there? It just doesn't make sense to me.
It's an important issue, and it's unfortunate that we bring these to light. We talk about them on the public airwaves. We have legitimate questions. Then we have this counterproductive information session. And then before everything is hashed out, we understand exactly what's going on. Boom! It looks like it's happening. And, there's absolutely no need to proceed like that. If government could only learn this fact, if you are open with folks, even if they don't like the message, if you're open, it goes through very easily. The backlash will be far less than it is when we get in situations like this. If we feel like you're trying to bamboozle us, then we get very frustrated.
Absolutely. I think there's the wool is being pulled over our eyes here. If they actually told us what was going on and explained to us, yes, we could make an informed decision, not based on emotion. But, I'm thinking about places like in their water supply. A different thing happened, but in the same sense, look how it affected the community. Mm-hmm. All right? And we're under how many 250 boil water orders in Newfoundland? Is there any reason why we would even attempt to allow a construction company to go in and build a mine in our watershed? And not only that, there's a young fellow here in Cornwall, Danny Griffin, has been trying to set up a modular home plant here for the last year or so, and has met nothing but opposition because he's actually too close to the watershed area. Now, he's not in it, but he's too close to it. So we're not going to allow him to go in there next to it, or a couple hundred meters away from it, but we are going to allow a mining company to go in there. Like, I mean, do these people really have their heads screwed on? I don't know about that.
I don't know, but that's actually a very appropriate question given what we're talking about today. Rod, I'm off to the break. I appreciate the call today. Say hello to Hottest Rocks for me.
I will, buddy.
Okay, man. All the best.
See you. Bye.